All right, the show is sponsored by powerfulwomenusa.com, a place to be inspired by other women. Hey, everybody, I'm Jill Conway, and this is Secrets of Powerful Women, a show dedicated to celebrating and supporting strong and successful women and sharing their stories. So I'm hoping that you will be inspired to pursue your own dreams, reclaim your voice, and discover your strengths. So my guest today is Marysol Castro. Marysol is a broadcast journalist, host of New York Living on Pix 11 in New York City, and the public address announcer with the New York Mets. So Marysol, thank you for being on the show and welcome in.
Jill, thank you so much for inviting me. Really, truly, it's an honor. I love doing this.
Oh, I love it too. And I love having women like you, and all the women I have on are so inspirational. And as I mentioned to you before we started, we went back years ago to Channel 11, right?
Yeah.
And we were always on different shifts or whatever, but you have pivoted so many times. Truly, no. And I think that's the beauty of it. And that's what I impart the message that I want to really drive home to women of every age, is that keep going and you never know what the next door will be, right?
That is 100% right.
Yeah. So let's start. First of all, talk about, I mean, you work with the New York Mets now. I mean,
I work, and it's like right there within arm's reach. I wish I could show you, but yes, I work with I'm the PA announcer for the New York Mets. I'm essentially the voice of the team. And this is a great day because we're rehearsing, because opening day is in a week.
Yeah.
And you set this up perfectly. I did not prepare, not that I didn't prepare. I never thought I would get this job, in part because I wasn't really looking for it. It sort of found me, but I think the universe works such that when you're ready, these opportunities come and find you. And that's not to say that there were not years of heartache, because there were lots of years that were really, really challenging and tough. But I love this job. I am the first female PA announcer for the Mets. I'm the first Latina PA announcer in Major League Baseball. I've been doing it since 2018. And I never take it for granted. I'm looking at this field right now, and I'm like, wow, I have the best seat in this.
Oh, wow.
So
she can't show it to us for everyone who's watching. I know, but she
issues. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It says right there.
Not allowed, but that's amazing. She showed me the view. What a view that is. Yeah.
You got to come visit me. You'll have.
Oh my God. I grew up as a Mets fan.
Is that?
I mean, yeah. Oh yeah. All Keith Hernandez, the whole Dwight Good, the whole thing. Yeah.
So funny story. My first day on the job, right? So in '86, that's the last time we won the World Series, and I remember being a kid and loving this team. The drama is I grew up a Yankees fan. Everybody knows this. But in '86, if you were in New York, everyone was rooting for the Mets.
Yeah.
And so my first day on the job, I went to my booth, and Ron Darling comes into my booth to shake my hand. And I go, Ron, I had a crush on you as a child.
Yeah.
And we work together. Let's not make it weird. And he blushed 12 shades of red. And he was like, well, welcome to the team. It's great to have you. And I pinch myself because I grew up watching these guys play ball, and now they are my colleagues. I mean, their booth is right over there. I see them every day. It's funny.
I remember meeting him. I think it was like Subway Series or something. I met that, and I was like, oh my God. Like, really, it's like, oh my God. So how did I get let in here? Right. And then it's like, I don't, just shut up, because they'll kick you out. Oh my God. Wow. So, well, let's talk about it, because you said you got that in 2018, but you have had an amazing career. And what I love is, because I specifically remember this about you, you were a teacher at some point, which, no, that's even better. The story is even better. It's better than anyone would think. So tell me how you tell me your story, because how did it begin?
Yeah. Born and raised in the Bronx, youngest of 4 kids, Puerto Rican parents. Went to a Quaker boarding school in Pennsylvania, because that's what every Puerto Rican Catholic girl does. I just got this full academic scholarship. I think, something about me is I'm very curious, right? You and I come from these broadcast journalism backgrounds. And so we're naturally curious. And I knew the world was bigger than the Bronx. And I knew I didn't want to go to the same Catholic high school that my siblings had gone to. And I wanted to forge my own path. And I got this full academic scholarship to go to Pennsylvania for 4 years. And that truly changed the trajectory of my life. And upon graduating from college, I really thought I was going to be a senator. I want to be the first Puerto Rican senator from the state of New York. And so I got into law school. I wasn't really ready to go to law school. So I found this teaching job in Brooklyn. And it was at a private school. It's called Poly Prep. And I taught high school English. I was 21. I taught 12th graders. So I was 21, they were 17 or 18. I got confused from being a kid all the time. And I coached high school volleyball. And then I was like, all right, I got to really figure this out. And I started applying to grad schools and got to journalism school. And once I got to journalism school at Columbia, suddenly I was like, oh, wow. I was like, I don't want to be a lawyer. And I wasn't sure I wanted to be a journalist, but I knew that I liked to tell stories. And then once someone put a camera in my hand, I was like, oh, this is really fun.
Yeah.
And when I graduated, right before graduation, they do the dog and pony show where the local stations come in, and legacy media came in, and you show up with your resume and all the things. And a woman who at the time was the head of talent at NBC, this was way before it was NBC Universal. And I talked to her, and she looked at me and she looked at my resume, and she was like, well, what do you want to do? And I said, I'm not sure. I know I want to tell stories, and I think I want to produce, and I'd really like to stay in New York. And she said, you're not cut out for this industry, and you should probably go somewhere in the middle of the country and get some more experience. 4 years later, I was at Good Morning America, and I saw her at the Emmys in the bathroom.
Wow. Boom. That's a pretty woman moment. That's awesome.
So when I graduated from Columbia, I got my first job at News 12 The Bronx, and it was the one-man band kind of thing. You go and you shoot the story, and you do it right. We've all been through it. It's
such a dangerous practice. I mean, to be out there by yourself. I don't know why they still allow it. They still allow it.
They still allow it. The cameras have gotten, they're not
smaller
50 pounds anymore.
Yeah, they're definitely smaller.
Right. And thus began this illustrious career. By the way, when I got to News 12, I didn't want to be on camera. I wanted to be a producer. And the news director was like, go put on some makeup and go shoot stand-up. And that was in 1999.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was News 12, Channel 11.
Wow.
And all the places.
Wow. So how quickly? So you were, when I was there, and I think when we were both there, you were in the chopper. So you were, which is, it's another, like, you have to have like nerves of steel up there.
I also think, you know what, Jill, I think to your point about pivoting and being open to experiences, when I got to Channel 11, I was freelancing because I left News 12. I always felt like I was too big for every space, like when I was at News 12, I was there for like a couple of months, and they made me an anchor, and I was like, I want to do more things. And they were like, no. And I was like, I got to go. And I didn't know where I was going. I truly did not know it. And it just so happened that the timing ended up that Channel 11 had an opening for a freelance reporter. And so I was doing, the hard news. I didn't have to shoot my own things anymore, but I was still, in New York City covering all of the stories. And a full-time position opened up on that morning show on the WB11 morning news.
Yeah. When it was in the early days, like that's when it was just starting.
That's right. And they said, well, here's the catch. You have to do traffic. And I was like, traffic? Are you crazy? I just went to the Columbia Journalism School. It's also another thing that really changed my life because it was 5 days a week. And I don't know if you remember, but when I was in that helicopter, I covered all the breaking news because I could get to the scene faster than anybody else. So I really honed my ability to think quickly on my feet.
And in the air.
In the air, 5,000, 8,000 feet in the air, while being nauseous and do, and there's no teleprompter. And you're literally you're up there with your pilot and your photographer and a bad connection with the producer on the ground saying, I think, we have NYPD is saying so-and-so, and I'm looking. So it was an opportunity to really hone a skill that I hadn't really practiced, which was breaking news.
Wow.
And being able to speak with a level of comfort and a level of conviction that I knew what I was saying, and I was delivering it to all the people at home without making them feel nervous, right? Because breaking news, you cover New York City, you're covering some stuff.
It's hitting the fan. Yeah, it is hitting the fan.
So, so that was, so I took that full-time job, and then 2 years later, I got the call, and what I did say is, I said, I'll do the chopper, but I also want to be able to file stories. I want to be able
Right.
to go out and shoot stories and tell a complete story and sit down and write the thing. And then 2 years later, I was at Good Morning America.
That is amazing.
Thank,
That's amazing, though.
thank you.
That,
Thank you. I did not plan it that way. It just, this business. Timing is
yeah,
everything,
yeah.
truly.
Yeah, but it's also the magic of, like you said, like the serendipity of it all, where it's just like the right people present itself, the right position opens, and
Right.
you're just ready. You're right there,
Yeah.
and it doesn't seem like you ever had the fear of saying like, "Can I handle this?" Or
No,
yeah,
I always knew
yeah,
I could because I've always wanted to learn more.
yeah,
Truly. I was never, and I think that's part of just growing up as a kid in New York City. Like
yeah,
you never know what's lurking around the corner. And 9 times out of 10, it's help, right? These
right,
mean streets of New York, there's always someone there who wants to help you.
yeah.
And so I always approached every situation as, first of all, I'm 26 and the network is calling me.
Wow,
You don't say no. My
right.
agent at the time said, "You're not ready." And I was like, "Well, you're going to miss this commission then."
So what happened? So did you pursue it without them?
I pursued it and I said, I can do this without you or with you. And at that, without
Yeah,
getting too much into the weeds, it was, well, we technically represent you. And, and I was like, also, I don't think you don't want money because you're
right.
going to get a commission. You're going to get a
Yeah,
commission.
yeah.
So
Wow.
yeah, always looking at something as an opportunity to learn
Yeah,
and to grow and to not just learn about the craft, but learn about myself and what my abilities are.
yeah.
Um, when I got to GMA, I thought I was a good storyteller. And then I learned under Diane Sawyer and I was like, oh, she's a really good, she's a really good storyteller.
Wow.
So what I learned at GMA was the business of the business. And I think that was another pivot that I had to take. I'm sorry. This is literally, we are rehearsing, so there's all sorts of
I don't, who cares? We don't care. That's life, right? That's the, life is crazy. But, so what, can you talk about the business? Because I
Sure.
don't think many people talk about the business of,
Yeah. I will say this, I didn't learn about the business of the business until I was let go. When I first got there, it was a 3-year contract, and I just went in there like shot out of a cannon. I
right.
wanted to do everything possible. I wanted to learn everything possible. And
Understandably. I mean, here you are in this amazing opportunity. Yeah.
and with all the obstacles that were thrown my way, and my second contract, I was like, I want to do more. I want to do more. And it was very much, you're here. You need to settle down. There are people that have been here for 20 years. Like you wait your turn. And I was just like, I don't want to wait.
Right.
And so this was 2009. And I had just had my second son. And ABC News was going through its first metamorphosis, probably in while I had been there, their first metamorphosis,
Right.
and they were letting people go, and I was one of them. And I was so blindsided. I had never been let go of anything in my life.
Right. And
I've never been
and there
cuffed.
was no inkling. There was no, like you said, no warning. Oh, that's terrible.
I walked into a meeting thinking, they were like, we want you to fill in these days for so and so. Can you do it for
Right.
3 weeks? And I was like, sure. So I thought I was going in there so that they could give me sort of and they were like, we're making changes. And I was like, what?
Wow.
And people, and in New York media, it hits the
Oh, yeah.
wires real
Someone's
fast.
listening at the door. Always.
And everyone and their mother is texting me, and I was just like,
Wow.
God.
Yeah.
And my agent at the time was the last person to call me. She called me at 8 o'clock at night. She's like, what is happening over there? And I was like, I have been fired, and now you are fired.
Wow.
So
Good for you.
I got whatever severance I could. P.S. I was also in the middle of a divorce.
Oh my God.
I was a single mother with 2 babies, a 3-year-old and an infant.
Wow.
And just got very, at the time I thought it was lucky. The devil was in the details, but CBS News, it was then called the CBS, the early show.
Yes.
And they hired me. But that was also a recipe for disaster because it was a situation where I'm sorry, these are the Mets calling me. The
Answer. No. Go ahead.
now batting the shortstop. Um, so it was a situation where there were four anchors on Friday, and there were four new anchors on Monday. And you can't do that to viewers. Like viewers will let you know within 30 seconds if they hate you.
Sure.
So what I learned about the business is know what decisions are being made or what conversations are being made without you being there. And
Hmm.
I think this has changed in part because I've tried to make this change happen in our industry. I never felt like there was someone in the room talking about me. Like be the person who, when you're not in the room, she's like, you know what, Jill Conway, you want to get
Yeah.
into business with her for X, Y,
Yeah.
or Z. I didn't have that.
Right.
No one, what clearly wasn't my agent.
Right.
And no one was in the room saying, wait a minute, have we thought about doing this with Marysol? Or wait a minute,
Yeah.
phone to me, so hi, sorry. Literally in the weeds.
Hi.
So authentic.
Hi. Go ahead. You're funny.
So
Wow.
it was, I had to learn that I really needed to understand who the decision makers were and take the time to meet with them. It's a lot easier now, I think, than it was back then. At CBS. Oh, and by the way, and then I got let go of CBS, but it was still during the era of I go into the general manager's office and he clicked the button and the door closed behind me. And I said, no, Chris, I'm not playing this game with you. Open up the fucking door. And he was like, and I don't think he was going to do anything, but I was like, we're not doing this. We're not doing this.
Right.
And it was literally a year later, so we're letting you go. And I was like, so second time in 2 years. And I was like, what is it?
Right. No.
And it was, the industry has changed. So it was changing back then. And it was celebrity over experience in the news business.
Yeah.
Because I was really getting passed over for stories for reality TV stars or actresses or any sort of shiny celebrity. And I was like, I don't want to be a celebrity. I just do my job.
Right. Right.
If I happen to end up on a magazine cover, great, but that's not,
Right.
not-
Well, I mean, first of all, I never had that person, I don't think, speaking in the room for me ever. I never had the mentor that I wish I had. Right. I was telling that to somebody because now it's all like, oh, kumbaya, everybody's getting along and everyone's a team player. Not when I was there. And I don't mean just Gen 11. I mean, they're backstabbers. You never knew who was gunning for your job. They're not talking nice about you at the time. I'm sure there were some pockets of it. Certainly, I've spoken to people who were like, we had a great team. We looked out for each other. But I wish I had that back then.
So do I. So do I.
Yeah. So what did that? So that is, talk about a very difficult time, personally, professionally, everything. So how did you get through that?
Therapy. A lot of therapy, a lot of, I had to become very nimble very quickly. So 2 huge firings in 2 years' time. I had a little bit of a severance, but I had a very expensive divorce. No one in my family taught me about saving money. I had $0.00 saved. I got evicted. Thank God. I moved in with my sister. Yeah. When I say it was tough, I'm not joking.
Yeah.
I never say I was homeless because I had a family and my sister always take us. And then I just looked really quickly and I thought, what's the skill set that I have that I can transfer to a different field? And I did a little bit of everything. And even when I was at GMA and at CBS News and later on at ESPN, I always felt like there are not enough stories about women doing really extraordinary things. There's definitely not enough stories about Latinos and the contributions that they make to this country. And so I would always on the side work on like a media project. Like if I had my way, this is the kind of show I would have, and this is why I would do it. And so that was always in the background. I ended up through sheer luck getting a job at ESPN, which was wonderful. And I loved it. I realized I loved sports more than I loved news. But because I had that hard news background and Diane Sawyer really did teach me how to become the storyteller that I am now.
Wow.
I was able to look at baseball, boxing, big events, and find it's not the game, it's the people behind the game, right? So I was able to do that. But then I got laid off from them too. 3 years later.
Yeah, but that's the business though.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
sadly,
So
right? It's at somebody's whim. And I don't think people realize that.
it had not,
Yeah.
and truly, and every time I got let go, it wasn't you've done something wrong. And
Right.
in my
No.
mind, I knew I didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
It was
Right. Which is worse.
worse, you know. But then you know what, Jill? Like
Yeah.
after the third time, I start to say to myself,
What am I doing?
do these people hate women? Do they hate people of
Yeah.
color?
Hmm.
What is it?
Sure. Sure.
And then, you go to therapy and you're like, sometimes these things are out of your control.
Yeah. Yes.
And so now I picked myself up and brushed myself off. I remember I told my best friend at the time, worked at a charter school, and this was like right before the Mets. And she's like, I need help creating content for these students, for trustees. How much money do you need to make so you can stay in your house? And thank God, this is my best friend from college. And I was like, I need X amount of dollars. She's like, come here tomorrow morning. She gave me a job. And
Wow.
she's like, just give me content. Start up a Twitter page for us, an Instagram, a YouTube. And I did that. And I was literally like, oh, I know how to do this.
Right.
And this was before influencers. This was,
Yeah.
it was before all of that.
Right. Well, you used all the skills that you had and all the things that you learned. So everything.
I was in a school and I had been a teacher.
Yeah.
So I could relate to the students and to the teachers. When the teachers were like, oh my God, I'm so fed up. I'm like, you know what? Give me half an hour with them. Go have a coffee.
Yeah. Right.
And that little side project that I had been talking about, I was like, all right, now I have I have income, not exactly everything I need, but I have a steady flow of income. I want to work on this pilot for Latinos in media. And I started shopping it around. And literally, as I was shopping it around to CNN and AMC, everyone, Mets called me. And they were like, this job presented itself. And this is where I realized the power of women helping women. And auditioned for a pilot, like a lifestyle show. And she had been the director. And I met her maybe once over this 3-day shoot. When this position opened up, it happened in the middle of the season. So they were scrambling. The organization was scrambling to find someone. And the previous owners knew that they wanted a woman and they wanted a Latina because they wanted to represent Queens and what New York City is about.
Yeah.
That woman who had been a director of mine, who I met once, just once. I mean, she obviously saw me behind a camera in a control room somewhere. When ownership was like, oh my God, we need to find someone, they called her and they said, hey, do you know anyone that fits the bill? And they were like, you need to call Marysol Castro. So Sally Fertini talked about me in a room when I wasn't there.
Wow.
We have since obviously reconnected. And but it was, to me, it was kind of like, oh, there is good in the world.
Right.
People aren't trying to backstab one another. And so that, once I started doing that, and then lo and behold, Channel 11 calls me back, and I was a little leery about it because I was like, I've done news. I don't want to do it anymore. And they're like, well, you might have some autonomy here. And thank God I said yes, because that was, February of 2020.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Wow. Just in time.
In the nick of time. And I would say this, the PA announcer gig opened up a whole world, which I did not think would open up, of voiceover work.
Ooh.
I don't know if you had been told that. I had been told my entire broadcast career that I had the worst voice.
Right.
They sent me to a voice coach. And so I was like, getting auditions, and I was like, you want this voice? You sure you want this?
Right.
It became this side hustle.
Wow.
I do corporate voiceovers, or I did like just this, that, and the other.
Oh, I love that. I've always wanted to do that stuff, but who knows how you do it? Like, I wouldn't even know. All right, but I want to take a quick break. We're going to take a very quick break here. So much more to talk about. We'll be back with Marysol Castro after the commercial break. You're listening to Secrets of Powerful Women, everybody. Help me get the word out. Share this with your friends because this is so good. We'll be right back. Hi, everybody. I'm Jill Conway. If you love what you're listening to, please like and subscribe to my channel on whatever podcast platform you listen to and on YouTube so I can keep bringing you these amazing women and sharing their stories. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you love it as much as I do. All right, welcome back. You're listening to Secrets of Powerful Women. Marysol Castro is with me. Marysol, you were just talking about, all the things that have happened to you over the course of your career and personally. And when you look at it, when you look back on it now, because now you're remarried, I saw the post. It looks like a fairy tale relationship. How do you look back and say like, okay, I had to go through that in order to get where I am now?
I do 100%.
Yeah.
100% do. And another very close friend of mine presented that very notion to me the other day. And he was like, Marty, if you had to go back, and we've known each other since we're 13, what would you change? And I was like, honestly, I wouldn't change anything. I think I had to do all of those things. Look, when I was getting divorced, I knew I shouldn't have gotten married. In every cell in my body was saying no. But my very traditional family was like,
yeah,
you're old. You're 31. You need to be married. You need to have kids. And I was like, do I?
Right.
So, instead of saying no, I said yes, knowing that it was one of the biggest mistakes I was ever going to make. Now, listen, 16 years later, I have a wonderful relationship with my ex-husband.
Yeah.
And to be the mother that I am now, I knew I couldn't remain married to him.
Right.
And for him to be the father that he is, we could not remain together. It just would have been bad for our children.
Yeah.
So I truly do think I had to go through all of it. Even on my darkest night, I had to know it so I could understand myself better.
Yeah.
And I could understand what to ask, right? Because I think a lot of us, especially as women, we don't know what to ask for when a job opportunity presents itself, or an opportunity to collaborate with someone. And when you don't have a lot, you really take stock of what you actually need to be whole or to be happy. And I think going through all of that, facilitated that for me, and really, really, truly understanding myself. And it's helped me be better at everything: being a mother, being a wife again, being a daughter, being a member of this team. Yeah.
Well, I love that, because I think at some point in your life, ladies, you will go through the phase of who am I and who do I want to be?
That's right.
Right.
That's right. Yeah. And by the way, earlier you were saying you were thinking of doing voiceovers. You have a great voice.
Oh, thank you. Except when I laugh, right? I'm like, ah.
But back to Secrets of Power. Well, that's a good voice.
You're funny. You are funny. You are funny. Well, thank you. Well, thank you, Marysol. No, you're funny. I've always wanted, what I've always wanted? I've always wanted to be like love songs at night, like Delilah. I love it. All that stuff. I went, it's so funny because like you kept going back to news. Like I went back to news a couple of years ago because I had turned 50.
Yeah.
I had been out. I burnt out. I burnt out at year 20. I was like, I hate doing negative news. I have little kids. I can't do this. So I left, and then I went into real estate. I'm like, I'm going to just have a normal job with normal hours. I don't have to get up at 1:30 in the morning. I don't have to do this horrific schedule. And then what people don't realize, not only are you getting up and then you have to have this energy, but you could be around toxic people in the mornings or whatever. So you have to pretend that. And then you have to be like, act like this is the best thing in the whole wide world, that you're in front of TV, the TV. Yeah. And then your day just never ends.
No, it never ends. It never ends. And then when that red light goes off, you have to keep your cool.
Yeah.
And you have to be pleasant.
Yes.
And on the inside, I'm like, oh, get me out of here.
Right. And then you have to go home, right? And then you commute too. I see that. Yeah.
To go home. I don't know. I cook every night. Maybe I'm a glutton for punishment, but I love cooking. Yeah. I've got kids. My kids are older now, but back then I was going to parent-teacher conference, helping with homework, doing this after putting in a full day of work. Right.
And you have to look good. And it's just like, it's the impossible tasks of sound good, look good, be happy, be cheery, even though the crap is hitting the fan at home. Like, it's people don't get it. No. I don't know. You would look with such compassion at the people on the news if you knew, right?
You knew what they had to go through to just get to that one spot.
But you still, no. You're on TV for like every day.
TV this morning, Monday through Friday, back at Channel 11, doing a lifestyle show. Yeah. And it's, I come to it from a different lens, obviously, right? Because when I started these people are making me crazy. When I started this industry, I was 25, I'm 51. So I have a little bit of, I don't care. And I mean that in the best way. Like, I can relate to this person who is a guest on our show because we have a shared lived experience.
Mhm.
So I almost feel like the show isn't happening to me. I'm just sitting down having conversations with people. And
Yeah.
there is we do integration and we do this and we do that. And obviously that is very important. And there still has to be a cadence to a lifestyle show. But it's still a grind. I don't have to wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning anymore. Thank
Yeah.
goodness, 'cause my show is at 10 a.m. But I still I get up at 4:30. I go to the gym. I get on the train, and people, there's, some young women who still believe in television. Thank you to everyone who still believes in television. Change in a year. Ask me if you still believe in
Oh,
television.
wow.
And they were, saying how much they wanted to do like entertainment and this. I never wanted to do entertainment. I didn't want to be on camera.
Yeah.
And I said, if I could just give you a word of wisdom, you got to be curious, and the fun stuff. This is the lip gloss of the spring comes like it's number 6 on the line of things you have to do. You have to write. You have to read. You have to know what's going on in the world. Like, I put it this way: when you are hosting a lifestyle show, you need to be prepared at any moment for a head of state to die or a pop star to die. And
Right.
you have to be able to talk about those two subjects with a fluency as though you were born to do it,
Right.
and everything in between.
Right.
It's not just, let me show up, get my hair and makeup done, look in the camera and, get free products or talk to the, star of this show.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
I've done it long enough now that I know, I don't know about you. I'm a very fast writer. Like that I can do. It's it's the transitional stuff. And sometimes you get people who come on, it's live television. Sometimes they come on and you know them from a show and you get so excited and they are so flat. And you're just like, and you're like trying to pull the words out. Come on.
That's true. That's true.
Do what you can do. Yeah. So I still do the show. And now that we're in baseball season, I will do the show. And then I drive.
Wow.
And here I do the game.
Wow.
And then wash, rinse, repeat. So I'm lucky that I have a co-PA announcer. So he does the weekday games. I do the weekend games.
Yeah.
With the occasional, there'll be specific special events and they'll ask me to come and call those games. Sometimes we'll have a makeup game on a Wednesday night and I'm like loopy, falling asleep in between batters because then I have to go back to the show the next day.
So how do you achieve work-life balance then with all of that?
Silly. Don't be silly.
There's no such thing.
There's no such thing. I'm so fortunate that I have my son in college is pretty self-sufficient. He's a sophomore, and we check in.
Too.
Oh, nice. She or he?
He.
How's he doing?
He's doing good now. Yeah. What about yours?
He's doing very well. It was harder for me.
Oh, I was traumatized. I said I was going to form a group that did that. So I formed a networking group for women, but I over 45, but I'm like, I'm going to do the boohoo happy hour instead of the boohoo breakfast for college moms.
I'm going to have to do it again because my younger son is 16, but work-life balance. I'm fortunate that I've got the kid in college. So he's very independent and does great.
That's great.
Then I have a junior and now we're halfway through the marathon of college. So I'll have to drag him over the fence. But he's self-sufficient. And I will say, being a single mother all those years, I modeled life for them. And they knew that they had to figure things out quickly because I was running from here to there, here to there. So they're pretty self-sufficient. And then I have this husband who is beautiful and remarkable. And he too, and he's a physician. And he also knows that work-life balance is crazy. So he knows during the week, he's like, I love you. I know you're about to go to sleep. It's 8:30. This is when I'm firing on all cylinders, but I'll see you this weekend. And it's a wonderful thing. The through line with all of these things is I've always been someone who is active. I've always worked out or I've played a sport because for me, I need that to clear my head.
Right.
And because for me, truly, there is no work-life balance. And that's not healthy. I need to at some point, I was telling my boss, I have to take a week off. And she was like, thank God, where are we going? I was like, Penn State, Bucknell,
Wow.
GW. She's like, can you please take some time off to do something for yourself? And I was like, I will.
Well, it's hard though. I know.
Yeah.
Everyone says that, but you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Every vacation is what's the nearby school?
No. I'm like, we'll
Yeah.
go to Miami and then we'll visit and then we'll visit.
Yeah. Right. And then yeah. So I mean, you're almost there. Yeah. And the applications, no, they didn't go out yet. That's next year.
That's next year. Yeah. Now
Yeah.
we took the SAT. Well, I feel like I took the SAT.
Yeah.
SAT, college visits, and then,
Yeah.
then
That's
applying
another.
in the fall.
And that's another emotional roller coaster, the second one. So yeah, please. All right. So we don't have a lot more time because I know you have to work. I mean, go figure.
I know. I've got the Mets PR calling them.
Oh gosh. Oh God. All right. Well, let's talk about just quick at this point. So what drives you, Marysol? What drives you to work as hard as you do?
That is a really good question. I don't know that I have a simple answer. I'm so restless in the best possible way.
Mm.
You know, I feel a sense of obligation to the people that came before me. You know, even in the tough times when I thought, how the heck am I going to make it through? There was someone who struggled so that I could get to that spot.
Right.
And to just always be better. I do have that athlete mentality. You know, I was a gymnast and I played volleyball and I played rugby for 15 years and I work in professional sports. And there's just something about the winning doesn't mean someone else loses. Is what I've learned. It's having this fulfillment that I've given everything I possibly can, and I still feel good about the work and about myself. And I think that's what drives me, truly.
Yeah, that's a powerful mindset. That's a hard lesson to come by. I feel like I'm right because I feel like our culture says if you succeed, it means someone else fails. Right. When you have a larger part of the pie up, someone gets that stupid little chunk, and
I know, and it doesn't have to be that way. And I think also, I was taught in many ways, make everyone around you feel comfortable, and then you'll do your thing. And it's the opposite. When I do right by myself, then everything else opens up for me, my family, my children, my teammates. They had it wrong. Whichever
they
else
did.
That they had.
Right. And I always say that. And they had that wrong about that. They also had wrong about don't get your hopes up. I don't know. I was always told that, right? Don't get your hopes up because it'll be taken away if you get that hope. And it's like, that is the stupid advice.
So stupid.
It's
We got
so
to come up
stupid.
with a new one and put it on a t-shirt.
I know, right? All right. Favorite celebrity interview or favorite interview or sports person.
I am so lucky that I hang out with people like Juan Soto, Francisco Lindor, or like I'll see Aaron Judge when I go over to Yankee Stadium. But honestly, they feel like brothers to me because they're like the little brothers I never had nor wanted.
Wow. Well, that's awesome.
My first celebrity interview was when I was at GMA and I was covering the red carpet, and I turned around, and we're like sardines, and I turned around to take a sip of water. And when I turned back around, I looked up and Leonardo DiCaprio was standing in front of me. And I was dumbstruck. I had interviewed like so many other people before that. Ethan Hawke, Oprah Winfrey, like all these people.
Wow.
And my producer's pinching me. She's like, idiot, ask him something. And I was like, hi.
Oh my God.
He's so tall.
Is he?
Oh my God, yes.
Leonardo DiCaprio? Oh my God, I would never think so.
But he's tall. And he was so handsome and so gracious. He was dating Giselle at the time. My God, this is how long.
Oh, wow.
So it wasn't
God,
the best interview, but it was the first time I was starstruck.
Oh my goodness. It's so funny because recently I've seen him and he just seems like so funny. Like he just seems like he's always doing something in the background of things.
Right.
But I looked at him and I was like, ooh, I'm getting like Clark Gable vibes like now.
Right.
Like that older sophistication. Like you're like, oh, wow, there's something there. Now I see it. Now I see it. Yeah.
Like in these movies, he looks so dirty. The parts he plays, like he looks like he hasn't bathed in 100 years. And then you see him at the Oscars and he's got his thing and you're like, oh, there you are.
Wow. I would never think he's tall. So we just learned something.
Okay, now you know.
Oh my God. Okay. So I love that. So can you say the worst interview that you've had?
Um,
And then I'll leave you alone because I know
there's no one person, but the worst interview is always the interview where you get a one-word response.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Where it's, and I craft my questions to force you to not say yes or no.
Yeah.
Right? You
Yeah.
always want to ask an open-ended question.
Yeah.
So when the person responds with no, I'm like, oh. It's usually someone who is either a celebrity who's just having a bad day, or someone who's a titan of industry. It happens less now than I did earlier, because I think people are more media trained now.
Yeah.
When people are not generous, it makes for bad everything.
Yeah. Well, it's like, why are you here, right? Why are you here if you don't want to talk, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, all right, last bit of advice for every woman listening to this who says, you know what, I'm through it, and I still have all these dreams and all these goals I want to do, but I don't know how to do it, or I'm scared.
Yeah.
What would you say?
I was you. I was you. I was you.
Mm.
There are, was it Mr. Rogers said, find the helpers? There are people who want to help you. And if you're willing to help yourself, those people will appear. It may not come as quickly as you want them to. For me, it was my sister. She was the first person to help me. And then it was my best friend, because my sister gave me shelter, literal. My best friend gave me means, a literal income. And that reminded me of who I was.
Right.
The two of them, they were helping me and in helping me, they reminded me of, like, you're Marysol Castro. Get up. Come on, let's go. Let's got things to do.
Right.
And that's when I started to see the world differently, instead of, I can't believe I was at the height of my powers and I got fired 4 times. It was, yeah, you did. And now look what you get to do.
Yeah.
So find the helpers and be open to it. Don't be afraid to ask. Do not be afraid to ask for help in any iteration, because it'll come. Again, may not come as quickly as you want it to, but it will.
Oh my God. I love that.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. She's got to get back to work. That's it for us, Marysol. I love talking to you.
I love talking
to you.
And congratulations with this show. You're doing
thank you.
Really, really, it's necessary. Truly is.
I'd love it. Thank you very much. It is. It's great. We have a big audience. We have a great audience. So yes, if you ever need a guest to talk about women empowerment, you call me.
I always do. Always.
All right. Hey. All right.
I got your number.
All right. So I would, again, thank you very, very, very much for coming on the show. I'm Jill Conway, and thank you for listening to this show celebrating incredible women like Marysol. I hope you're inspired to pursue your own goals, believe in yourself, and dream bigger, everybody. Your voice matters, and your story can help others. I hope you join me next time. Share this podcast with a friend, and follow us on Instagram. Thanks, everybody.